Hi, and welcome to the iPhone Tips and Tricks 2021 edition. In this video, I'm going to share with you amazing iPhone tips and tricks to help you unlock the power of your smartphone. I'm Aidan Quigley from aq.ie, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about tech, web design, and branding. Before we get into the tips and tricks though, give the video a like if you enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell button, and then select all to turn on post notifications. Let's go. So the first tip is to turn on True Tone. And to do this, you go to Settings, Display and Brightness, and you just make sure that True Tone is selected to on. And what True Tone does is it takes the ambient light that's around you and uses it to adjust the white balance of the screen so that what you see as white on the screen matches how a white piece of paper would look in the location you're at. The next tip is to deliver notifications quietly. Now you can do this by long pressing on a notification and selecting the three dots and then turning it to deliver quietly. What this will do is it will prevent it from bothering you with an alert notification for something like an Instagram notification, and it will only appear here in your notification center. So if you're being bombarded with notifications from an app that you don't want to necessarily turn notifications off fully, but you also don't want them popping up at the top of your screen, you can now set them so they just appear in notification center with deliver notifications quietly. Third tip is long press, and you can use this for a multitude of things. So if you want to turn on Do Not Disturb for an hour or until this evening or until I leave this location, you can do that by long pressing on Do Not Disturb. You can do the same thing with display brightness. You can turn off and on True Tone and Night Shift and Dark Mode all with a long press on the display. For volume, when you have AirPods connected, it allows you to turn between transparency mode on and transparency mode off and active noise cancellation on and off as well. You can also long press on the settings here to access your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, etc. And you can long press on Bluetooth and it will show you the list of devices that you have, and from there you can open your Bluetooth settings and it's going to take you right into Bluetooth settings. The next tip is a 2-finger long press in Mail that will bring up this select multiple interface to pick and choose which emails you want to mark as read or move to junk or flag. So I'm just going to mark these as read, and that's it. The next tip is a 3-finger pinch to copy. So to execute this, you go to Notes or Text Editing application, and you can select a part of a sentence that you want to copy. Use a 3-finger pinch like that, and you'll see that it has copied up the top. The next tip is to use your 3 fingers to paste the thing that you just copied. So to do that, you get your 3 fingers, you spread them out, and it will just then paste what you've done. The next tip is a 3-finger tap, which will bring up this text editing option up the top. So you can undo, you can cut, copy, paste, and redo. So if I undo that, I can then redo it if I would like. Another editing tip is you can press and hold the spacebar to move around the cursor so that you can finally edit. So say I want to get rid of here and just delete that. I can do that now, and I can press the spacebar and move the cursor around. So that's very handy as well. Another tip is you can shake to undo what you just did. So once you shake, it brings up this dialog box and it will ask you to either cancel or undo. So I'm going to undo that, and that brings back the A. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, because a shocking 99.4% of you are not subscribed to my channel. That means that only 0.6% of you are subscribed. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot. The next tip is to add widgets to your home screen. To do this, you just long press on the home screen, then press the plus button up here and drag in the widget that you want. You can rearrange it then based on your home screen preferences, and it's going to push around the applications to fit around the widget. The next tip is to double tap or triple tap your iPhone on the back, and it will bring up a specific function. I have set the double tap to bring up reachability, which puts the top of the screen within thumb's reach. so that's handy. And I have the triple tap set to bring up the search function, so I can search for an application without having to go back to the home screen. So if I was in Safari, for instance, or any other application, I'd be able to triple tap on the back of the phone and bring up the search option to find another app without having to quit the app and go to the home screen and then pull down the search drawer. To set up the double tap and triple tap on the back of your iPhone, it's an accessibility setting. So you just go Settings, Accessibility, and then Touch, and you scroll down to back tap, and then you can choose what you want the double tap and the triple tap to do. So you can choose between reachability, app switcher, home screen, lock screen, mute, shake, Siri, spotlight, volume up, volume down. There's a lot of things that you can set it to do. The next tip is to long press on the camera app, and this will bring up different options for taking a video or a portrait or a selfie, or a portrait selfie without having to open the app and then slide to the mode that you want. The next tip is to add different things to Control Center. So by swiping down to Control Center, you can then see a bunch of different things here. So I've added voice memos, I've added Apple Wallet, I've added a stopwatch, I've added the notes access, I've added the remote for my Apple TV, so you can use this as a remote if you can't find the one you have. So to set it up, you go to Settings, then down to Control Center, and you can just select the ones that you want to include. So you can also add in all of these other ones: alarm, code scanner, dark mode, hearing, home, music recognition, if you want to Shazam a song. The next tip is to tap multiple apps if you want to move them around the home screen. So when you press on an application and drag it around, you can then also tap on other applications and they'll join your piles. Then you can move them to a new page and it will place them there. And the same thing can be done if you go to Files and you want to select multiple photos or files. You can long press on a photo, drag it down, and then select the other photos that you want to add to your collection. Now I'm going to transfer these into a different folder, and there they are. The next feature is one of the biggest features in iOS 14.5, and it's called tracking, and it allows you to block advertisers from tracking you. So you go to Settings, Privacy, Tracking, and then you can choose to turn it on entirely, or per app you can choose to allow tracking. I have it set to off because I don't want these apps to be able to track me and monetize off of that. If you're enjoying the video so far, give it a like and comment what you think is the most useful tip. The next feature is a handy little thing that I found in Calendar. So say I want to add in an event and I want it to be at 4 o'clock today. So I'm just going to say event for the title, and then I'm going to select the time. Maybe I actually want it to be 4:30. Before, I thought you had to, type in 16:30, which is kind of annoying if you just want to change it around by a little bit. So what you can actually do is go in here and then drag this to be exactly where you want it to be. So maybe you want it to be 16:10, then you can just go ahead and do that. Another tip is that when you're in an app, you can quickly switch between other open apps by using your thumb to swipe across the bottom. So instead of having to swipe up to show you different applications that are open, you can actually just swipe, 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 swipe. It's very handy and very quick to get between apps. One of the handy things about the iPhone is that it has a stopwatch, but up until recently, you weren't able to view this timer in any other format. And now if you swipe over to the left, it'll show you it in an analog clock. Another useful tip is that if you're in Safari and the reader view is something that you use, you can long press on these two A's to bring up the reader view without having to select reader view from the list. So the list that usually appears is something like this, and it shows you hide or show reader view, and you can change the font size, you can change the color and the website settings. So that's just one quick way to get in and out of reader view. This next feature is very handy given that Face ID doesn't work amazingly when you have a mask on. In fact, it doesn't work at all. So if you have an Apple Watch Series 3 or newer, you can set it to automatically unlock your iPhone if you're wearing a mask and your Apple Watch is on your wrist and unlocked. So this, to set it up, you go to System Settings and then to Face ID and Passcode. Just gonna pop in my passcode. And as you scroll down, it should appear here to allow you to unlock with your Apple Watch. Because the Apple Watch I have is a Series 1, it doesn't show up here. But if you have a Series 3, this is where you would find that option. This next tip is for those within the Apple ecosystem that have an iPad and an iPhone, and they want to be able to view something that they're viewing on their iPad, on their iPhone, or vice versa. So here I have my YouTube channel open up in Safari, and if I want to view it here in my iPhone, I can just swipe up, bring up the app switcher, and then click on Safari from Aidan's iPad. And it will bring up the YouTube channel page that is open on my iPad. The final tip for iPhones in 2021 that I'm going to share with you is to share lyrics. And this is a feature that Apple added into the software with iOS 14.5. And to do it, you go to Apple Music, you tap on a song at the 3 dots, and you can then share the lyrics. So you can pick which lyrics you want to share. So perhaps you want to share from the chorus, and you can pick up to a certain number of lyrics, and then you can share them with someone. So I'm just going to share by messages to my sister, Hypocrite. Those were some of iPhone's best tips and tricks for 2021. Let me know in the comments what you found most useful, or if you have any other tips or tricks that you want to share, let me know as well. If you haven't already, go ahead and give the video a like and hit the subscribe button to follow my channel. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos over here, and that's it for this week. Thanks for watching.